Okay, hey guys, how you guys are doing? This is Cam 15, joined by Uncle Darrell, back at it with another video for you guys, and we are here doing our NFL Week 2 predictions after a pretty eventful Week 1. I think there were definitely, multiple games that were definitely interesting. I think if you want to rate some of the games in terms of pure excitement, last week it was definitely Jets versus Steelers, Bills versus Ravens, and then sadly, if you're a Vikings fan, well, if you're a Bears fan, it was Bears versus Vikings as another exciting matchup, which came down to the wire. But yeah, let's get into it. Now I know we missed the Thursday night game, which is Commanders versus Packers. Long story short, the Packers just absolutely destroyed the Commanders, and it legitimately was not even a contest.
Yeah, I mean, and Micah Parsons, man, he has made such a difference with that defense that they're gonna be tough to beat.
I hate to say this as a Bears fan, but they might be the favorites to go all the way.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Green Bay looks really good.
That's what happens when they mostly invest all their picks into their front seven, whether it's linebackers or the trench players. They just go make a trade to go get an elite edge rusher, and then mostly their secondary is just a bunch of guys that are probably drafted from there, but mostly free agency dudes.
Yeah,
But
and it also helps that you do have an experienced quarterback.
yep.
You do have, and I gotta admit, we all say it. Matt LaFleur is probably one of the top five coaches in the league.
Hmm.
Let's just give the man some credit. We don't like Green Bay, but I gotta admit, Matt LaFleur is the truth.
Yep. Um, and then for the Commanders, I would say this is kind of the second straight week they haven't looked good. Um, albeit, the first week they went up against clearly a bad Giants team on offense. They
Hmm.
immediately need to. I wouldn't say immediately. Maybe give Russell Wilson like two more, three more starts, and then you put Jackson Dart in there because if that's going to be the performance Russell Wilson's going to give on a weekly basis, well, he might as well be a backup quarterback or just go back home with Ciara and his kids and just be a stay-at-home dad and maybe be an
Well,
aunt or something.
Well, I was going to say for me, it's Washington. I mean, they
Yeah.
made so many roster adjustments that I think chemistry is going to be an issue with them for the first few weeks. And then whenever they get that together, then maybe, just maybe, they might be able to start, steamrolling a little bit. But they made too many changes in the offseason for them to just start rolling immediately. So
And
I'll
then
give them a few more weeks.
and then you add in Terry McLaurin sitting out basically the entire
Yeah,
training because of his
yeah,
contract.
that's
So
correct.
there's that. I personally
And
don't think.
even when he comes back, he's going to have some issues because I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a brand new terminology.
Mhm.
Um, and again, just like I said before, he's not the only, Debo Samuel's on the team now. So, I mean, you got new faces on that football team that chemistry is going to be an issue with the Washington Commanders, at least for I would probably say maybe the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. Also, it also looks like their offensive line is also a problem too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Coincidence?
well, I mean, when you had a quarterback that had such a good year as Jaden Daniels did, you could probably sit up and say, "Hey, you know what? He's elusive. We can probably get by until we, tweak this offensive line enough." But
And then obviously
I
the
don't care
whole
who
thing
you are,
about,
man. You gotta be able to win the line of scrimmage. I don't care who your quarterback is.
and then also again, just like what we saw with CJ Stroud last year, teams got
Yep,
film over an
yep,
off season. It's
yep,
different when it's a week to week type of thing, but
yep,
then when you have a whole off season and defensive coordinators can game plan against what he does
yep,
best, on top of
yep,
it, getting the basically kind of the game plan of how Cliff Kingsbury likes to call plays.
yep,
Because last year Kingsbury hasn't been in the NFL for like years after his stint as being the Arizona coach, and nobody expected that. Again,
yep.
I think Jaden Daniels will be fine, but again, I would not be shocked if he has a slump like CJ Stroud did. CJ Stroud still
Well,
is going through this slump.
yep. Yep. So I mean, and you hit it right on the head too. I mean, it's just going to be a matter of a plethora of things that Washington's going to have to go through in order to, get the team back to where they were at last year's end. And you're right. When you got film, that second year is going to be a little different. So, and we've talked about this as well too. The key to a really good quarterback is how you adjust from year to year. And right now, with all this film on Jaden Daniels, it's going to be interesting to see moving forward how he reacts.
Yeah. Only thing I'm pissed about the Commanders is I sat Zach Ertz on my bench for fantasy. I should have started him. He gave me a nice crisp 18 points on the bench.
Oh well, and you know what? Jaden Daniels liked them tight ends too. So yeah, that might have been and just I wouldn't call it a major misstep. I mean, you got a few weeks to figure it out.
Well, I got Kincaid or the Jacksonville Jaguars starting tight end, and they both
Yeah.
did do good last week.
Well, I had Dallas Goddard, and he's out this week. So I had to hit the waiver wire just so I can get me a tight end. So I wound up going with Dalton Schultz. So we'll see. So it was either him or Jawan Johnson for
I want to win Juwan Johnson because he got more
I
points than
see, and that's just it. He got the majority of them looks too. So um I still got some time. So I might wind up just going ahead and swapping out because I'm not really sold on CJ Stroud
yeah.
just yet. So I think I might just go ahead and swap out and get Johnson up in there. But you know how it is in fantasy, man.
Yeah.
So again, we'll see.
All right. Sunday week slated games for this upcoming Sunday. Our Chicago Bears against the Detroit Lions. Bears have to rebound against their fairly embarrassing loss against the Vikings, where they were up 17-6, and then a whole bunch of stuff broke out, and they ended up blowing the game. Obviously, the talking point was, mostly it's around Caleb Williams all the time. Like, oh, well, he didn't really look good outside that first drive and things like that. Again, I chalk it up to him learning a new offense and things like that. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we can hope he eventually gets the reins of it down in the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, then you may have to think about potentially, and especially mostly on Ben Johnson's side, how much patience is he willing to have? Because we just saw the Bears,
Yeah.
albeit he's an inaccurate kicker at times. They immediately picked up Jake Moody yesterday on the basically the waiver wire,
Yeah.
because legitimately of the Cairo Santos thing about not only he missed a field goal that could have potentially kept the momentum for the Bears to continue winning that game and maybe leading to a victory, but
Mm-hmm.
also even though they should have known, and Ben Johnson's already accounted for the fact that he did make a mistake. They told him, "Hey, man, kick this in the back of the end zone so they don't get a chance to return it and kill some clock." And clearly, he couldn't do it.
Yeah. He
So,
didn't have the leg. Well,
so
no, he had the leg. He
yeah,
kicked it deep, but he kicked it right under the goalpost, man. I'm like, dude, you got to aim for a corner or something. But I think the biggest thing with Santos, and I know we're getting off on Bear stuff when we should be making picks, but I think the biggest thing there is for me, I don't want it to seem like the reason why we lost is because our kicker didn't hit a kick.
yeah,
That's a false narrative that I personally don't want to throw out, and I know you don't want to throw it out either. But the reason why the Bears lost is for me two reasons. One, Ben Johnson called a horrible game, especially specifically that last drive before the half ended, and Caleb Williams couldn't hit. I mean, the only thing when he was throwing, the only thing the football hit was the ground. Other than that, he wasn't aiming at nothing.
yeah.
So
So there's
I
that.
put their loss at those two individuals' feet. Definitely not the kicker.
And then obviously the Lions, they just got absolutely destroyed against the
Yeah,
Packers.
yeah,
Obviously you can
yeah,
attribute that to new coordinators in a finally in a
yep,
serious game doing this. I
yep,
expected this to happen.
yep.
So here's a situation where two 0-1 teams in the NFC North could potentially drop down to 0-2, and the chances of making a playoff spot, go fairly slim if you start the season out 0-2. Um,
Correct.
I think for the Bears, again, they got to do what they did in the first three quarters on the Lions offense. Get to Jared Goff, affect him, get some pressure on him, try to get a turnover off of him, and don't allow any big crazy plays. The offense, while albeit you're learning, don't have many penalties like pre-snap stuff. Look, Caleb Williams needs you to throw accurate balls. It's
Yeah,
clear some of those throws, he was really rushing those throws. Like that slant on 4th and 3, he clearly rushed that throw. Instead of staying
yeah,
in there a bit more, letting it, oh, it was open. He just rushed it like as if it was like
yeah,
whatever. Bears also have to establish a running game to bail
yep,
Caleb Williams on and make him not do much. Ben Johnson already came out and said, yes, he's going to give more carries to the other running backs on the team. Roshan Johnson looks good to go. Kyle Monangai looks good to go. So I hope that Ben Johnson lives up to his word about using the other running backs
yeah,
and not name DeAndre Swift, please. Like, my God. And the good thing for the Bears is they are getting TJ Edwards and Jalen Johnson back for the defense, so that will definitely help them out. But that's just my standpoint. For the Lions, look, it's simple. You want to establish the run, make sure the Bears, you can't stop the run, so then you can just go up play action and things like that. And the defense just they got to get stops, plain and simple.
yeah, yeah.
Both
Plain and
teams
simple.
essentially, their coaches both said, Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell essentially both said, like, no, this is must-win game.
Yeah.
Um, as much as I don't, I will choose the Bears to win by 3. That's my homer pick. That's it. I'm gonna go with the Bears to somehow pull the upset. Ben Johnson gets some sweet revenge, and they rectify the loss they had last week.
Uh, the game is in Detroit. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Um, the film is out that the Bears defense got gassed by Minnesota's running game. Minnesota's running backs, in my opinion, are not as good as what Detroit has.
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference with Detroit was their coordinators, especially defensive coordinator. You know, they had some issues with him, you know, making sure the defense seemed prepared. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go with Detroit by 3.
That's fine.
I just, I just, I think it's gonna be a little bit, and then you got two new players coming back that you know that's got to get their feet wet. I, on the road too. I'm gonna go with Detroit by 3, 2017.
Even if the Bears lose, I just hope the offense looks good. Just look good,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
I
I
just want
mean,
something positive to talk about.
I want to see Ben Johnson. What got him from me, his job was he was able to run the football. He knew running the football was key, and he did that with Detroit. And his first game with the Bears, he put his faith in Caleb Williams, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I think they got to make sure that they limit how many times he throws the football, get to some old-fashioned football, win at the line of scrimmage, which the Bears did not do in the fourth quarter because, I mean, it just got gassed. So, but I'll go with Detroit considering that they're at home.
Next up, the Rams travel to Tennessee to play the Titans. Both teams looked averaged at best, but I just well, for the Rams, I chalk that up to just week 1 type of stuff. And then Stafford, he didn't get really any preseason reps because of his back injury.
Yeah,
But albeit the defense still is playing really good from what they did last year. The Titans, I didn't watch much of that Titans Broncos game. Their defense still looks as stout as ever. It's just the
yeah,
offense still is seemingly a problem. But it's to be expected with a rookie quarterback. But then
that's
again,
true.
I did hear his receivers didn't do him any favors.
Yeah,
Um,
he made some really good throws, and his receivers, just as you just said, they just didn't help him out at all. Now, granted, as far as secondaries go, Denver's secondary is probably one of the better ones in the National Football League. So, but Tennessee's defense is actually, you know, not bad either. Um, and keep in mind, you had with Tennessee and Denver two really young quarterbacks. You know, this time around, Tennessee is not dealing with spring chicken at quarterback. So I do like the Rams this game. Um, and I'll probably say something along. I don't think it'll be one of them low scoring games you just
Hmm.
saw when they played last week against Houston. But I do think that you might see a few more points, at least from the Rams.
Yeah.
So I'll say something along the lines of 24-14 Rams.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. I would say around the same score too.
Yeah.
Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Cincinnati to go up against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Jaguars, I guess if you want to say their win against the Panthers was impressive, but the Panthers sucked on offense. Um, look, Jaguars, we'll see how they go. It also looks like what's his face? Um, Travis Hunter. He's been playing more receiver than defensive back.
Yeah.
He looked all right out there. But again, it was just the week one stuff. The Bengals, obviously, they squeaked by the Browns. That's just AFC North divisional matchup. Of course, those
Yeah. Cleveland's defense is I mean, it's not bad.
yeah.
I'm gonna go out there and say that Cleveland's defense is not bad. Their offense sucks, but their defense, yeah, man, I would not be shocked if they're a top 10 defense when it's all said and done, provided that they're injury free or that they survive injuries, you know. But this matchup, I still like Cincinnati. When you get something like that, you still got to go with the better quarterback,
Yep.
and you know, and Joe Burrow is the better quarterback. I think the issue that Cincinnati's going to have is can they effectively run the ball um, with and win at the line of scrimmage without having to jump on Burrow's back. So
Chase Brown's a good running back.
that's going to be the question for them. He is, but can you truly give him the ball 20, 25 times out the backfield?
Yeah.
You think he can? You think he can handle that kind of pounding?
Yeah.
20 carries a game? I don't know about all that. I mean, I'd say maybe 10 to 15 carries, and anywhere from 4 to 5 receptions, you could probably get out of Chase Brown. But 20 to 25 carries? No,
Yeah.
they ain't got that kind of backfield. But I'll go with Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati too. Hopefully Joe Burrow gives me more points than he did last week. I'll
Yeah,
just put that. Um,
yeah.
Next up, the Browns at the Ravens. Both teams having two
Stop,
close games.
stop,
What?
stop, stop. Baltimore, move on.
Just like
Baltimore,
that? Even after the
Baltimore,
Ravens.
Baltimore gonna come into that game pissed.
Well,
And I'm hoping Derrick Henry comes in that game pissed too, because he in my fantasy lineup.
oh yeah, he in my fantasy lineup too. He gave me a bunch
Yeah,
of points.
yeah,
I
but
just
he
need him
did
to
for
get one
me
more
too.
TD.
Dude, man, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, they all balled out for me that week one, and I'm hoping they ball out for me again this week. But Henry specifically, Baltimore gonna come in pissed. I made sure I put that Baltimore defense in too. Yes, Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore.
Okay, I agree with that. I know the talk of the town is the way the Ravens blew their game last week. If
Yep.
they should have won that game against.
Yeah, they should have won that game. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be pissed, but they're more or less pissed at themselves. And I think they'll take that frustration out on Cleveland,
So
Baltimore. I think we
we'll
didn't
see.
talk about this game too long anyway. Move on.
We'll see. Yeah. Next up, the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Again, the Bills had a very impressive win last week with Josh Allen, and then the Jets, surprisingly, they had a back and forth game against the Steelers. I was watching that game all even at work before our baseball game. I was watching. I'm like, dude, these dudes are going back and forth, and the Jets just came up short. Garrett Wilson's got to hold onto that ball, but I don't blame him for dropping that ball because Jalen Ramsey just laid a hit stick on that dude.
And some would actually say the Jets should have won that game.
Yeah.
Some would actually say that. Now, for me, this is an upset special right here. This is clearly an upset special. Where's this game at?
It's in New York.
It's in New York. Exactly. So, upset special. Don't be shocked. Justin Fields had a fantastic game. Didn't turn the ball over. He threw 2 touchdowns. I think he ran for another one.
Yeah. Probably his best game of
And
his
he
career.
and he targeted Garrett Wilson as well. I'm gonna go. You know what? Forget it. I'm going with the Jets. I think the Jets can pull this out because they're the home team.
I'm gonna go Buffalo winning by 3. I think it's gonna be another one of those close wire games where Buffalo is gonna
Yeah,
get a final score and maybe they force a stop against the Jets to finish the game off.
yeah. One thing the Jets did not show me though, and I'm glad you brought up, they did not show they can get the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that they did show me, which is the reason why Aaron Rodgers probably
Diced him up.
got him really good. They couldn't get to him. Now, could that be a combination of Aaron Rodgers being so smart and getting rid of the ball quickly? Yes. Could it be that the Pittsburgh offensive line protected well? Could be. But regardless of it, the Jets cannot get to him. And do you think they're going to be able to get to Josh Allen? Don't know. But I'm going to still go with the Jets.
Yeah. So, yeah, funny enough, before we even got on the video, I saw, I guess, a video Adam Schefter tweeted saying, I guess Jerry Jones was on the line with some New York outlet, and he said, like, yeah, we would have traded Micah Parsons to the Jets. All we just needed was 2 picks and Quinnen Williams.
Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell.
Now, I personally, if the Jets had did that, I would have been thank you, because that means he gets away from the Packers.
Well,
But
yeah, but you're not gonna make a trade and go, "Hey, are you trying to trade to the Packers?" Yes, okay, I'll do it. Come on now, come on.
um,
If I'm the Bears and I hear you trying to do that, oh yeah, I'm gonna set up 2 picks. Two? We
2
got
picks for
three.
this player.
We got 3, and yeah, you can have Billings and yes, absolutely. I
Yeah,
would
but
have
we
made
barely
that
have any
deal.
freaking cap space to freaking even pay him the type of money we had.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true too. Now that's a different road to hoe when you're talking about awarding a dude 47 million, you know,
yeah.
and that's probably what the Packers was like. Hey, we built through the draft, so yeah, 47 million ain't nothing.
And then we got another AFC East matchup. This is the New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna get this out the way right now. I'm upset. Yes, I'm gonna be picking my boy Matt's teams on the road
Yeah, I
against
was
the
about to say I didn't know where you were going with this, but yeah, I was like, wait a minute here. Uh, New England's a little bit better than what they were last year, and Miami's going through some stuff, so I'm going New England too.
yeah.
And plus, New England's at home. Oh no, no,
No,
no.
no, they're on the road.
Miami's at home. Miami's at
Miami's at
home.
home.
Yeah, I'm gonna still go with New England. I like New England's defense a little bit better. Um, and for whatever reason, it's just not clicking offensively,
I still
with the
think they're
Dolphins.
recovering from the end of the crap last year, where they lost last year to the Jets when Tyreek Hill basically gave up on the team and
Gave
just
up on the team. Yeah,
I'm deuces, I'm out.
yeah.
And there are,
You notice
you look,
he stopped all of that. Well, Tua is the best quarterback I done played with.
yeah,
Really? Be like, really, Tyreek? You gonna go there after playing with that number 15 in Kansas City, and you gonna go there? Oh, stop it, man. Just stop it. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm going New England.
yeah. The Dolphins, I watched the early bits of the game and I was just seeing what was going on Red Zone, and I'm just like, oh. So I still remember when the Dolphins were definitely crying and complaining about when they had their joint practice against the Bears, talking about, oh, they
Uh-huh.
were a little bit too hard on us. They didn't do much of anything. They're kind of playing a little dirty.
Indianapolis beat the brakes off them dudes. Now I don't know if it's Miami is that bad or Indianapolis is that good. I don't know. I guess we'll find out within the coming weeks. But for right now, Today,
Miami's that bad.
I'm going with New England.
And on top of it,
I didn't like what I saw at Miami. I'm
yeah.
going New England.
And Tua's already getting killed. So
Mm-hmm.
he's already a ticking time bomb when he gets hurt because the Colts, they blindside
Yep.
hit, they messed him up. And then
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, I remember going watching the game. Tyreek Hill's already complaining on the sidelines. And then they
Yep.
already had a team, players only team meeting after week
Really?
one.
Already?
Yes, it came out this week that they had a players only meeting already.
Oh, that was building up from weeks ago too. It's just been a lot of turmoil within Miami, and I just don't know if McDaniel is actually got the stones enough to be able to pull guys together.
Yeah. I
But
think him and Greer are getting fired after this season.
probably
So
either
well,
that, either that, or they clean house.
oh no, I think they're cleaning house straight
As
up.
far not, I mean, I don't mean clean house from a coaching standpoint, just clean house from a player standpoint. I mean, because Tyreek from where I'm sitting, he on his last leg as a player. Um, Waddle can never stay healthy. Tua is never healthy. So it's just one of them things. Whereas I think you know, management and coaches, you just got to cut bait with players. You really do. And I think this is one of those situations.
Yeah. All right. Next up, 49ers at the Saints. Now, 1 week into the season, the 49ers already got players dropping like flies. I think Jawan Jennings is gone for a bit. George Kittle's already on the IR. He's on my
Yep.
other fantasy team, and I'm like, good God. And then it came out just a few days ago, Brock Purdy gonna miss 2 to 5 weeks for turf toe.
Yep. And I had to take him out of my other lineup. And on top of that, there were some signs from where I sit that McCaffrey still ain't 100%. I,
I didn't watch their game last
he
week.
did not look 100% to me. I don't know what's going on with his legs, but he
He
just
got
did not look.
arthritis. That man got
Yeah,
arthritis.
he didn't look good to me. But I thought Jawan Jennings is actually talking about play. Is his shoulder correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw, Bleacher Report, and you really can't put too much stock in Bleacher Report, but they were talking about him looking to play.
Yeah, so the backup is gonna be Mac Jones. Look, even though it's Mac Jones, I'm gonna go with the 49ers to win the game because they just have the better defense. I think the defense will force a turnover on Spencer Rattler. I know they're on the road, but that just shows you how lowly I think of the New Orleans Saints at quarterback.
New
We'll
Orleans
see.
did not play bad last weekend.
They didn't play bad, but who did they play
They,
last week?
they, they, they that's an awfully good question. They didn't play bad. Um, I don't think
Oh, they
New
played the
Orleans.
Cardinals, who are no better.
Oh yeah, yeah, and the Cardinals. Yeah, Cardinals beat them, but they did not play bad football. I mean, I still think the 49ers should win. I think they have a little bit more talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball than New Orleans does. The quarterback, I think they're just going to cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to, deal with the running game. And yeah, I got to admit, I'm gonna stay with San Francisco as well too. I just don't think that New Orleans has got any firepower
Yeah.
offensively.
And we'll see. Next up, the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. I'll give credit where credit's due. The Cowboys had a competitive game against the Eagles in week
They
one.
did. They did.
The offense
And
was,
on top of that, they should have won that game.
yeah,
I mean, CeeDee Lamb dropped 2 touchdowns.
yeah. He's still talking about that.
Yeah, dropped 2 touchdowns. I think Dallas will win this game.
Yeah, Dallas should win this game. We'll see how their defense affects Russell Wilson because clearly Russell Wilson was affected by Washington's defense, which, in
Yeah,
honest my opinion, I think Washington's defense is average at best. But
yeah, I think so too.
but Yeah, if Russell Wilson has another bad performance, you already know Giant fans would be like, we want Dart, we want Dart."
That's true. That's true. And it is what it is. Russ is just
He's cooked.
it's yeah, it's time for him. It's time for him. I mean, I'm speechless because I'm not shocked, but I really just don't like watching quarterbacks get old and they start moving from team to team. The team starts them when they know they probably shouldn't be starting him.
His
And then,
his problem was his ego got in the way. He thought he
yeah,
was all that in Seattle, and then like, all right,
yeah,
fine, go away
yeah.
then.
He took that crap into Pittsburgh,
Well,
you know.
Denver, then Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Now
Denver,
New
then
York.
Pittsburgh, and even, and people, really, dumped on Sean Payton, but Sean Payton knew what kind of cat he had as quarterback. He thought his stuff didn't stink, and there was nothing that Sean Payton could tell him that Wilson was listening to. So Sean was just like, dude, get out of here. For the money you make, and I can get somebody up in here and he'll listen.
Well, moving on from
But
that, I'm going
did we
Cowboys.
say, yeah, I like the Cowboys.
Yeah. Next matchup is old Super Bowl rematch back in '05, and that's the Seattle Seahawks going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Um, Based on how the Steelers looked, I'm gonna pick them. Again, I didn't watch much of that Seattle game, so I don't think Seattle particularly didn't look the best on offense. I know their defense was fine for the most part,
Well,
but
San Francisco still has a really good defense. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that has something to do with the way Seattle looked. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, I'm not gonna fall in love. I'm not gonna sip the tea
yeah,
and jump on the Pittsburgh bandwagon all because Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns. I'm not gonna do that. I like to be able to look at it a little bit more to simply say that that Pittsburgh is going to do something in a division. I think they'll still win this football game though, but Seattle is a well-coached football team, you know, and I don't think they're going to run away with it. I think it's going to be a little bit better than what people believe. I think Pittsburgh still can win something along the lines of 24-20 or something like that.
yeah. Next up, Broncos at the Colts. Broncos offense was a little janky. Bo Nix threw a few turnovers. In the meantime, the Colts offense, they looked really good. But again,
They
that was
look
against the
good.
Miami Dolphins defense. And
Yeah. Yeah. Indianapolis looked real good. Now, we said it earlier. Was Indianapolis that good? Or was Miami that bad? I mean, you got to ask yourself these questions before we start making, serious picks. But I don't know, man. I'm going to say Miami was just that bad.
yeah,
And Indianapolis is playing who again?
uh,
Denver?
Denver, they're the home team.
Who's it? Denver's the home team?
Indy.
Is the home team?
Hmm.
I still like that defense, that defense that Denver has. Come on now, we're talking Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones with a week 1 win
yeah,
against a team that we just said is cooked.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Denver. I think Sean Payton will be able to show, get his team geared up and ready to play.
I agree. I'm going Denver too. Next up, Panthers at Cardinals. Easy win, Cardinals.
Cardinals, move on.
Bryce Young looked
Dan,
terrible, and
Dan
it's year
Canales,
three.
I just don't think he gonna survive.
Wow. Well, actually, you know what? With Dave Tepper as owner, he gonna probably can him if things don't,
Yeah, I gotta admit, I just don't think he gonna survive. And he is a really good offensive head coach.
Super Bowl rematch from last year. It's gonna be Eagles at the Chiefs.
Chiefs has got too many injuries. Rice is out.
Yeah.
They didn't really run the football in that week one loss to the Chargers. I think they're still putting too much on Mahomes' shoulders. And yeah, I still like the Eagles.
Yeah, I'll go the Eagles, even though Jalen Carter is suspended for this game, which was stupid
Yeah,
that he did that.
yeah, yeah. I think it's stupid too, but I think the Eagles is balanced enough where they can survive, you know, the loss of Carter. Um,
Right. You think we can fit in these
I
last three picks with 1 minute left to go?
nope,
No?
nope.
This then.
Okay.
All right, so the Sunday night football game is going to be Falcons versus the Minnesota Vikings. Falcons, they could have tied the game against the Buccaneers, but Young Ho Koo missed a field goal to tie the game. But overall, they looked fairly good against the Buccaneers. And then the Vikings, the defense was really good for all the quarters. The offense, you know, really didn't catch fire until the fourth quarter because outside of that, JJ McCarthy looked shook. And they looked like they were going to lose, but credit where credit goes to JJ McCarthy. He showed up when he needed to show up. Kevin O'Connell continued to say, like, look, dude, you're gonna get through this game. We're gonna find a way to win this game. You're gonna be fine. Um, and that's what happened. Um, even though they probably should have lost that game, but regardless, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Falcons to win this game because Minnesota coming out of that Bears game had a lot of injuries. I think two defensive players, like especially Van Ginkel, they're in concussion protocol. They're
Yep.
still down Jordan Addison, and I think Raheem Morris is gonna have the defense really truly respect again Justin Jefferson, but also respect JJ McCarthy and try to get pressure on him again, to get him flustered and get him out of sorts because. I'm not saying that JJ McCarthy's not going to be a bad quarterback, but after I saw the first three quarters, I'm like, well, it didn't look too impressive there. But if McCarthy finds fire, watch out there. But I'm going to go with the Falcons to win the game. I think they're going to be upset that they lost a game that at least should have been going to overtime at the latest, and you play it in overtime and see what happens.
Yeah.
With the fact that that defense is compromised at some point, I think they will do what needs to be done. Michael Penix looked good. B. John Robinson looked really good last week. I'm gonna go with the Falcons to win.
Honestly, one of the things that really got me with the way Minnesota played is that I think Brian Flores just didn't blitz a lot. I noticed that he sent a lot of four man and sometimes five man um, at the quarterback. I don't expect that this time. I think he's going to come at Michael Penix to get his timing off a little bit. But one of the best play callers in the game is Coach O'Connell for the Minnesota Vikings. I personally think that um, I like Minnesota this game. I'm gonna go with Minnesota, and I think because of the coaching aspect that he'll clearly do what's necessary to get Minnesota a W.
Yeah. And then on Monday night, we have two Monday night football games this week. Why they didn't
Yep.
do it last week, I don't know. I guess they just wanted it just to be one, but.
I don't think that was a matchup worth. I just don't think that was a matchup worth.
So the first Monday Night Football game which is gonna start earlier. It's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know how late that is for you in Germany.
Or 4 p.m. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's like 2 a.m. for me.
Yeah. So that game
Yeah,
is Buccaneers at Texans. Buccaneers with a gritty win against the Falcons, albeit being a little bit lucky that the kicker missed the field goal to go to overtime.
true.
The Texans again, defense again still looks fine. The defense is fine.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
offense that still is like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, well, they got Nico Collins as their only wide receiver, and I think they he got covered quite a bit by the Rams.
Yeah.
I just don't see
And then Joe
any
Mixon's done
way.
for the season too.
Yeah, and but they do got Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb is slowly working his way back. I think he got somewhere around 14, maybe 15 carries for about 60 yards. So I can see them handing the ball off to him a little bit more. But for me, I mean, Stroud don't have any targets as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Um, so, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Buccaneers
Yeah.
because outside of um, the injury that matters, it doesn't really matter. And Chris Godwin because
Yeah, and I
like
honestly think Godwin's going to get traded because Mbuka showed
yeah, I
out.
gotta admit, Booker showed his whole ass. I mean, to a tune of 2 touchdowns. And a lot of teams are going to overplay Mike Evans, and Booker is going to get opportunities, especially since Godwin's not there. And he took advantage of him week one. I think he'll take advantage of him week two.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers to beat the Texans on Monday night at home
Yeah.
on the road. Then the later Monday night game is going to be the Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers having a very impressive win in Brazil, even though it's on a neutral site against the Chiefs. And the Raiders
Mm-hmm.
also having
Mm-hmm.
a pretty good win against the Patriots last week. In Pete Carroll's first game coaching the Raiders.
Yeah. What? They played New Orleans, didn't
New
they?
England,
No, they didn't play New Orleans. They played
New England.
New England. And you know what? They were in New England too.
Yeah,
If
they were in
I'm
New England.
They were in New England too. That was actually a pretty good win now that I think about it. But Pete Carroll has had an opportunity to put his stamp on his team, so to speak, you know. Um, but dude, man, Chargers, man. Woo, woo, man. You can't tell me you ain't excited about them Chargers.
I'm excited about the Chargers.
Yeah, yeah, you're instilling a lot of confidence in me right now that, just that I'm like, dude, they look Super Bowl ready.
It may be crazy
They
enough to
look
say.
they look Super Bowl ready.
It may be crazy enough to say, but then again, they did come from the same city. But as much as I love my Clippers, the Chargers like the Clippers to me. Go out there and prove it on a week to week basis.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I have no doubt that they will. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is a fantastic football coach. Now, the one thing that really shocked me was he threw the ball a little bit more than what everyone anticipated, you know. But and I'm not sure if that was out of necessity or because he might have seen something within the front seven that says, "Hey, y'all ain't getting to this quarterback." But that said, I honestly think he's going to get back to the bare bones of who he is as a football coach and win at the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, again, I'm going with the Chargers. I just don't see any. That team looks Super Bowl ready.
That's a pretty bold statement to say this early in the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I,
I'll go
and
with
I gotta admit, football, the NFL is a collision sport, and every team is going to have their ups and their downs. Every team is going to have their injuries. Every team is going to be physically taxed, because it's 17 games, and here it is. I'm talking after week one, and after Kansas City got beat on a neutral field,
yeah.
but the Chargers looked really good, and I was highly impressed. Highly impressed.
Um,
So, and how often are the Chargers going to come up against, you know, a quarterback to the caliber of Patrick Mahomes every week?
yeah. I'm
Chargers.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers to win the game. I think they need to win this game because it gives them a good advantage in basically the AFC West, where you got two teams right now that are gonna be
Correct.
1-0. potentially 2-0 with the Broncos if they pick up the win against the Colts.
Correct.
And you again, any chance you have to take down your division rival, and knock
Correct.
them down a peg, and you hope again for their case, Philadelphia does them favors, knock the Chiefs down to 0-2. You could have commanding lead early on into the season.
That's
Um,
correct.
Chargers in week one, they did what needed to be done. They beat the Chiefs, they beat a division rival. So you have the upper hand on them. You have one game on them. Need to do the same thing with the Raiders.
Can you imagine what the standings will look like if the Raiders win and Denver loses?
They'll be
The
2-0.
Raiders will be atop the AFC West at 2-0. And here it is. Obviously, don't trust the Raiders. And you know what? I'm still not trusting. Even if they win and that scenario does happen, I will not. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon.
No,
No
I don't
way,
know.
no
I don't
how.
know if Brock Bowers is going to play this game. I know like he got taken out early in that Patriots game because of some knee injury, so I don't know if he's
Yeah.
back to play.
Well, Pete Carroll is really good at managing his roster to the point whereas he probably has that roster away, whereas they can probably survive a week or two. But because he is a really good football coach, you got to give him that. I don't
Yeah.
trust the Raiders, but at the same time, though, I do believe that Pete Carroll was a really good football coach. Austin Genty didn't look bad. You know, Geno Smith didn't look bad,
Yep.
but you know,
Yeah, we'll see.
they the Raiders. But right now, just the Chargers. I'm sorry, with what I saw in Week 1, I was just like, dude, this team looks Super Bowl ready, and I know that's pretty big after Week 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, fully healthy, yeah, man. I think if fully healthy, yeah, if this was their Super Bowl, fully healthy, I would have picked the Chargers too.
Yeah, we'll see. I also do think an important thing is in the Chiefs game, Justin Herbert didn't turn the ball over. Um,
Nope.
as long as he doesn't turn the ball over where he's not having, I'll let it slide if he has one interception. But if he has like two, three interceptions, that's when I could see the Raiders trying to pull off this win.
Well,
Because
no quarterback can survive a game with 3 interceptions, especially, um, I mean, that's a tall order.
yeah,
But the fact that, Kansas City, um, they made a statement and the Chargers were able to answer that statement. And for me, that's huge. Because if you really think about it, the Super Bowl's on a neutral field anyway.
yep,
You know, I don't know who. I mean, and we've had some instances of when, a team has got, the home cooking for the Super Bowl. But for the most part, these are all neutral fields.
yep.
And the Chargers, they answered every call when Kansas City made a run, when Kansas City did something well. Justin Dan Marino Jr. popped out that right arm and he was like, boom here, boom there. And Quentin Johnston,
And if
I
he can show,
mean,
if he can show up like that, then
yep,
that's a huge get.
he got those red zone looks that Keenan Allen and oh golly gee, he is their
That
number one
McConkey,
receiver. McConkey, yeah. Kid from Georgia. So I mean Johnson got them red zone looks. So you know, yes, I'm sipping the tea a little bit early. Chargers looked really good. I was really impressed with them. And yes, they do have to prove it from week to week. And I think they will. But, you know, they got to show up. And I think they will at least week 2 against the Raiders.
well, that's basically our week two predictions. Tomorrow, afternoon, we'll be back to talk Chicago Bears post game recap, hopefully in a win for the Bears. And then
Yep.
we'll see as the weeks go on. It seems like these prediction videos are going to be coming out on Saturdays because I'm going to be working all week long,
Yep.
and stuff like that. Now that I'm officially in the off season, sadly we didn't go to the championship game. We lost to and we got swept in 2 games for our baseball
Oh,
team
yeah.
because it was best of three series. So
Oh, gotcha.
we lost a close game on the road in game one. We had a grand
Hmm.
slam, but then errors and I guess you could say a bogus safe call from the referee kind of won the other team the
Yeah.
game, and then we just got shellacked and blown out in the final game, which it was an emotional game because mostly most of the staff there are gonna more than likely leave, especially the fact that too because I'm the single currently the team's currently the single A team for the Dodgers. They're gonna be currently the
Mm.
single A team next year for the Angels going forward. So
Oh, okay.
a
Okay.
lot of I'm happy that I'm be, working for one of my favorite baseball teams, if not my favorite baseball
Yeah.
team. It is kind of bittersweet and it is kind of still a sad thing to see people who already know, like, yeah, I'm probably going to be gone after next year, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I wish they had won it, but credit goes to the Angels affiliate, which beat us, the
Yeah.
66. And I think they're playing the Giants single A affiliate, San Jose.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as long as you had a successful season, you have things to look forward to for the next one,
Yeah.
you know.
Hopefully,
So,
hopefully the Angels affiliate team is good next year.
hey man, I always say winning is in the preparation. So just, pile that in with the rest. But when you start out, you're 0-0 and
Yeah.
everybody's got a shot. So
Yeah. Well,
just keep at it. Keep at it. Keep going, keep growing.
yeah, that's hopefully these new guys come in and everything. But anyways, we're gonna go over guys. See you guys next week or see you tomorrow for Bears recap if you're a Bears fan. And yeah, but other than that, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night or watching this video. Until then, guys, peace.